I'm going to talk now about my very first use of the Zwift feature called Meetups and how we used it tonight to simulate a group ride that we normally do on Thursday nights. So, a bunch of us locally that race and ride, we do Zwift either for structured workouts or for when the weather is bad and so forth. So, with the new version of Zwift Companion, there is something called Meetups. And if I was really more interested and motivated, I would do like a screenshot of meetups and how you set it up. You can find that elsewhere. I'm sure there are other videos and there are explanations on the web about this. But in short, I will explain it. You'll have to look at it on your phone. In the very top left of the app, you open up the menu, then you click on Events. Once you've clicked on Events, there at the very top, there are three little icons. One's a bike, one's a person running, and one is a group of three people. You click on the group of three people, and there you can create a meetup. You click on Create a Meetup. And then you can choose when you want it, what day you want it, what time you want it, what course or route you want for that day. And then you click on people you want to invite. And the people that you invite need to be followers on your Zwift account. So what I did, we got on Facebook. I already had several people that were followers. We added some more people that were followers. And just as a first experiment, because the weather's bad here in the Dallas area tonight, we tried to do this meetup. And I invited, I don't know, 12 people, something like that. And we had about 7 people that started the ride. And it was cool. It was fun. It worked. It's just like a regular group ride on Zwift. When you get the invitation, you can I think you can join on your phone through the app, and you can also just join on whatever device you use to run Zwift. In my case, I'm using a MacBook Air. I could use that to join. It will show as an available group or a group ride for you to be able to do. So I started up. Because I was the one who started it. I didn't have to say yes to join it. I was already joined to it, and I started Zwift, and I um, just did like a regular, started a ride, and then a few minutes before the group ride was scheduled to start, it gave me the invitation to join the group, which I did, and then we sat on our trainers for a few minutes waiting for everyone to join up, and then we just started. You just start. Now you don't have all the same jersey like you might in some kind of group rides. You have whatever jersey you've selected in the game. But one of the really cool features is that you can see on the right side of the screen there where it has the names. Each one of us that is in the meetup has a color. It's colored, and I guess it's green. The GoPro doesn't really translate the color very well here, but or it was blue. I can't remember. I guess it's green. And so you can see that everyone in green is on our particular meetup group ride. Also, if you look at the top right of the Zwift screen, you can see the map. And again, I'm sorry for the shake here. Obviously, I don't ride perfectly smoothly on the trainer. Um, I'm using a kicker version 2. Anyway, you can see on the top right up there, there are little orange, the little red orange dots. That represents all the riders that are in the group. So that's really useful because you can see if guys are off the back, depending on how far off the back. If they're too far off the back, you won't be able to see them. But if they're a little bit off the back, you can see that they've fallen back. And in my case, because I'm the group leader, I'm a triangle on that map. I don't know what I look like to other people. I don't know if there was a beacon on me or what. But in viewing my screen as the person who started the meetup, I have that symbol over me that you can see in the middle of the screen that I guess it would be a chevron. And yeah, it was. And so when I used the app to put in a text message to everyone, it goes in the middle of the screen, just like, yeah. So you can see right there, we are 33% done. That's something that I use the voice to text feature on my phone, and I talk, and then I hit enter, and that message goes. When people reply to me from the group, it will be on the right side in that little print on the right side next to their name. Um, if they so choose to. We didn't. We have a Discord channel, but nobody was using it, so that was a step too far tonight to use Discord. But that is something that we can do in the future. And I expect that we'll have more people join this in the future. So we got, on short notice, we got about 6, 7 guys who did it. A little bit hard, like how fast do you go? I think I'm discovering now that there's different levels of experience for guys doing Zwift. I have a lot of experience doing Zwift. For example, one of our riders stated that he would freewheel when he was in the pace line in the group, and then he'd fall back. Well, one thing you know about Zwift is you cannot freewheel when a group is going pretty fast. You'll lose a lot of speed freewheeling, so you really can't do that. Um, I guess you have to also think about what kind of watts per kilogram to go. If you're on an organized group ride, they'll usually have a ride leader that'll say, we're starting out at 2 watts per kilogram. We're going up to 2.5 now. The nature of our pop ride is that we kind of know how fast we're going to go in certain sections, but that can turn based on what some other rider does, and it's highly variable. It's kind of like a hammer ride, race ride. So we didn't have any particular expectation of what we would do, other than we were not going to just hammer and try to drop each other, but we're going to stay together and just ride as a group, which we did. There were a couple riders that fell back. We regrouped a little bit. Eventually, some riders either ran out of time or felt a little bit tired and ended up cutting it a little bit short. I made the ride pretty long, at 36 miles, which is the same length as the pop ride. 36 miles on the train air is a lot different than 36 miles in a big group ride where you might be freewheeling 40% of the time, 50% of the time on a group ride like that. So a lot of things to learn in terms of how this would actually play out. I think if we had a bigger group, it would have been easier for everyone to stay together because there would have been more opportunity for drafting. The way these rides are set up in Zwift, the amount of drafting you get is not the same as the amount of drafting you will get in real life, especially if it's windy. For example, if we're going against the wind on a real pop ride, you get a huge draft effect from being behind people. Well, we don't have that in this game. Even with a tailwind, I think the amount of draft that you get in Zwift is something to the equivalent of a really strong tailwind. You're not getting a whole lot of draft. The guys in the front are not being held back a whole lot more than you are. So um, just keep that in mind if you're not experienced with Zwift, that you need to stay on. You need to stay on. You better not lose the group, and you need to stay in the draft if you're feeling tired. So I think overall it was a success. I thought it was cool. It was fun. It was motivating to ride with guys, names that I knew, ride together. There was a little bit of banter and so forth. This is definitely something I want to do again. And in some ways, I think this is a lot more fun than racing against guys you don't know across the world for no particular purpose. We weren't racing. We were just trying to get in some fitness. And we can experiment with this and see how it goes. Try different things. I kept it on a flat route because I thought that would be best suited to keep everybody together rather than, say, go up Box Hill, which I think would have absolutely devastated the group. Maybe some guys that might find they join this and they struggle a little bit, they'll be more motivated to learn how to ride better on the trainer, how to just put out watts continuously without any freewheeling. That takes time to develop. If you've never done it, it's not going to come easy just immediately. I think also if we do it, we'll probably have an A ride and a B ride where I think maybe we'll all start together at the same place, but we'll have like a designated B ride leader. In other words, a group of guys that will start out at less watts per kilogram than another group that will go a little bit faster. And that way there'll be an opportunity to fall back if you want, and you can see on the screen the different groups and so forth. So if you haven't tried the Meetup yet, because it's brand new, I would suggest trying it if you have a group of friends that you would want to ride with. So I thought it was great, and this is a great feature that Zwift has added that I plan to use again. And it's fun, for example, to do this kind of thing against the guys you race against during the race season. Actual people where you can somewhat measure your fitness, for example. I think that is fun, just like you do on the group rides locally. So anyway, that's a little introduction. Not a particularly good one. And I know some of you are going to be like, oh, I saw better introductions of me. Yeah, I know. This is just me spending 10 minutes because I don't have time to do a good explanation of this. This is just me making a comment to my friends to explain what we did, what it was like, and that it was cool. And I advise that they join up and do it, and they can make their own meetups. It's not just me. I just happen to be the one to start it. Anyone can start this. And yeah, that's it. Later.